away from my Carolina home. Had dreams about the West and started to roam. 6 long months on a dust-covered trail. They say heaven's at the end, but so far it's been hell. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there. We were digging and shifting 5 to 5, selling everything we found just to stay alive. Gold flowed free like the whiskey in the bars. Sinning was the big thing, Lord, and Satan was a star. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there. And blood lined the streets. Men were shot down for the sake of having fun, or just to hear the noise of their 44 guns. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there. Now my widow, she weeps by my grave. Tears flow free for her man couldn't save. Shot down in cold blood by a gun that carried fame, all for the useless and no good, worthless claim. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there.
4, 3, 2, 1. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. See where we are right now, right there? That's what they see right now. All of them right there. All these people right here. That chat too. That chat so I can highlight people and see. Yeah, granddaughter, my love is driving Papa nuts. All right, everybody. How are you all doing tonight? Welcome to another Tuesday night hangout live with my beautiful co-host, my granddaughter. No, guys, you can't have her. I do pack heat. Ah. All right, everybody, say hi to Raylan. Hi, Raylan. Okay, honey. Behind the wizard's curtain you go. Welcome everybody to Tuesday Night Hangout Live. You got it. It's the first Tuesday of the month, and you all know what that means. Yeah, I know I switched it up on you this year, but it has been 6 months, or when did I come back from summer break? I don't know. It's been a while. Tonight's Open Line Tuesday, where you'd be more than welcome to join me for a little while. I see I have Stony Creek Prospecting. Man, don't live far west from my son, I don't think. Mr. Lodak, world's greatest moderator. Careless Whispers, good to see you. G'day, Brad. How you doing, mate? Paul C. Look forward to coffee. Thanks, honey. Uh, Producer sent the assistant in with some more coffee. Because if you know me, you know I love my coffee. Where was I? Brad Welsh. Paul C. See you at Fossick. I'll be there. Space number 17. And David Villa, welcome mi amigo. ¿Cómo está usted? Bien? Bien. Deja vu. I think I hear that every week. Um, Aaron, gold is where you find it. Good to see you, brother. Robert DePotty, very good to see you, brother. Um, Bill Marsh, always good to see you. You've been around for many a year, my friends. Chew, welcome back. Good to see you. Randy, Scotty, Tony, always good to see you too, brother. If you're at work, be careful. I'll be working night shift here soon, putting liner panel in a new uh, blow mold production area we built at Pepsi Cola here in Lima, Ohio. Um, think Procter and Gamble used to blow their bottles. Now they're doing it in-house. And people in corporate and management just give me a blistering headache sometimes. If my project manager or his corporate Pepsi's out there watching, I doubt it though, but if you are, boy, like you guys, but you give us guys out in the field some headaches. Bent Fork Prospecting in the house. All things country, good to see you, brother. Hobo Rob, Jim Rock Butcher, how you doing? Uh, Heath Doty Adventures, good to see you, brother. And all of you in the room, thanks for joining me. I do have a poll up top. The 22nd of June will be Tuesday night's Hangout Live 7th year anniversary. Of course, I don't have a show on the 22nd, but on the 25th, I believe it is, I do. And then I go on my 3-month vacation from Tuesday night Hangout Live like I did last year. Many of you know I went a long time, years, without missing a show. Sick, you name it. One time, who was my guest? Some metal detectorists. Bill, you might remember. They're from Pennsylvania, I believe. Backyard Boys or something like that, if I remember right. We could also hear his toilet flush during the show when one of them had to walk away for a minute. But we had a power outage that night. I mean, right before showtime. I'm like, oh my, I got my guest on my phone in Skype. I was using Skype back then, saying, oh man, I lost the signal. Um, I go to my neighbors. They have a Generac big household generator. And Steve's like, how's it going tonight, Ed? Oh, it's Tuesday. Show night. Oh my goodness, shoot. Want to use some power? And I'm like, I was just headed that way to ask. And even that show went on. But I believe I've only missed 3 shows. Mr. Lodak, you could correct me. Bill, you could correct me if I'm wrong. And all of you know that's when I had to go to my mom's memorial service in Washington, then down to her second memorial service and funeral in my hometown of Anaheim, where my late brother and my dad are laid to rest. So I think those are the only 3 shows I've missed going on 7 years. But I kind of miss my co-hosts. I miss Dano and Jesse, talking to them every week and stuff. Everyone's so busy lately. But I'm kind of thinking about throwing in the towel or saying hell no and push to 10 years. That'd be only 3 more years. So you'll get that question later. But I do have a single question poll up in the chat. So we'll see what happens. Someone wants me to quit, I see. I do very much, David. I know. Do whatever makes me happy. This show does make me happy, Aaron. I look forward to it every week. I look forward to hanging out with a lot of my friends from YouTube that I've met. A lot of my friends from Gold Prospectors Space.com who are actually in the live chat room. they're a big part of the YouTube community too. But you know, I want to say push on, but I do need the 3 month break during summer now. I really enjoyed that 3 month break last year. I got to get out prospecting, meet new people, take care of a few things, and some things I said I was going to take to, I neglected and did other things and didn't take care of it. But, just curious. Just curious. But hey, it is what it is. So, well, I haven't been here 7 years, but I would miss Tuesday night hangout. I missed last week and I felt bad enough. Well, that's good to hear, Careless. Thank you. And thank you for becoming part of the Flash fam. And thank you for being part of my friend Aaron's Gold is Where You Find It uh, community over there. So, Colin, Heavy Meadow, you should do short versions of show during your summer break. Last year I did do a live show almost weekly, but it wasn't a full 2 hour Tuesday night hangout live. I kind of wanted to keep my Tuesday night slot. I've had it for a long time. Um, if you stop this, what the hell are you going to be doing? I don't know. My shop's still too much of a mess, Heath, to do any in the shed with Ed stuff. I thought about getting a repeater or even doing a hardwire out to my shop so I could do like Shop Talk Live, like how I did before Tuesday Night Live even happened. Some of you might remember the Shop Talk Lives. Most of those were on Facebook, though. Um, and some of them were on both Facebook and here. I tried multi streaming years ago, and even though I reached more people, I didn't like it. Uh, Not that I didn't like the people on Facebook or YouTube over those on Facebook. The thing was, one of them was being left out. And I find that true about pretty much most people that multi-platform stream. Uh, it's hard, especially without co-hosts, to catch, even with co-hosts, to catch the whole chat in whole. And all of you out in chat are the reason why I'm here, and I have to communicate with you and answer questions and talk to you directly. Ken, the legendary Kenneth Durst. Damn it, sorry, Ken. Nugget Brain, the world's famous Nugget Brain Peterson is in the house. Good to see you. Um, President of Watts Worldwide Association of Treasure Seekers, I believe it is. Great group of people. They've been sponsors of some flash bashes and other stuff. BC Trails, good to see you. GS Prospecting, howdy, howdy, howdy. The Canadian Hillbilly, I thought I saw Kevin in here. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Hey, you guys! Charlie, good to see you. Stony equals the Naked Prospector. New channel name coming soon. Ugh, that's a scary thought, Stony. Now, there's a couple of others out there. I wouldn't mind that idea, but I'm gonna keep that all to myself. Yeah, I said ick, all right. Colin, bro, good to see you. Heavy Meadow. Um, Everybody, this coming weekend is the Buckeye chapter's 17th anniversary, I believe. I don't have my Facebook up anymore, or I check. I believe it's the 17th annual Fossick Days weekend and meeting weekend at the Swank West GPAA lease in Butler, Ohio. Address is Belleville. It's closer to Butler, along the beautiful Clear Fork River in central Ohio. It's open to the public. I will be there. I'll have a booth for Flash in Your Pan, and I'll be carrying some dream mats and other stuff. I'll be in space number 17, so come by, see me. If I haven't met you, let's meet by the river because it does happen, huh, Charlie? It does happen. Also coming up here before long, my friends over at International California Mining Journal is hosting another Downeyville Gold Rush Days. Um, that's the weekend before, third weekend of the month, I believe. It's the week before Blue Leads Nugget Hunt on the North Yuba at Union Flats. Um, so then Robinson Prospecting, how are you doing? And all the lurkers out there, it's been known to happen that we have some pretty big channels that lurk in on us, like our friend Dan Hurd or Pioneer Polly, Bogus Prospecting, or um, Two Toes, my friend Two Toes. Yeah, Brian's lurking somewhere in Ohio. It was good seeing you work that dredge of yours at Freedom Fest, buddy. Sorry I wasn't there for the whole weekend. I would have loved to be, but stuff happens. I got down there for one day though. Okay, well, I could probably take care of this stuff. 32 votes, huh? Wow. 3% said, yeah, this should be your last year. 97% said no. I'm going to close that. So, or 96%. Now, I'm going to do another. I think if I choose to go on, I'm going to go for at least 10 years straight. 10 years straight. I can honestly say right now at this moment, I am the longest consecutive running gold prospecting and treasure hunting live stream on YouTube. Not on podcasts, not on Spreaker and stuff, but on YouTube. And pretty happy about that and pretty proud about that. So, um, that's 3% better than not show up at my house. I'm a stomp them a mud hole and walk it dry. Liking your little setup you do have, all things country. Buckle Boy metal detecting. Hello. Hello. Same here, Robbins. Eric. If you come to Fossick, I'll see you there too. It was good seeing you briefly at Freedom Fest, buddy, and thank you for the products. Yes, Rob, for sure. I got umbrella too. What's this? Freedom Fest t-shirt in Australia. Woo! It would have been great if you could have made that one too, Brad. Maybe if you come to Ohio, I will bring back Flash Bash if Brad comes to Ohio. Heavy might be talking about the OSPA meeting at Cottonwood Trails. Is that what you're talking about? I'm curious. Melted up some gold a few days ago. I got 20.9. Maggie got 5.25 grams. Nice. Nice. Melted up though. I hope it was all fine gold you melted up. I definitely hope you weren't melting nuggets. Personally, I think anyone who melts and makes their nuggets buttons are nuts, especially if it has a lot of character. What do you say, Ken? Oh, the OSPA meeting heavy? Cool, cool. Yeah, Careless. Rob lives in Southwest Oregon, I believe. GS, I believe, lives up by Tacoma or something, Washington. Maybe not quite Tacoma. Maybe, uh, I, I have a name on my head, GS, but Auburn. Maybe in Auburn, because I know a couple other YouTubers that live in Auburn, and and GS might live there, and I know his prospecting buddy, which I met when I was in Washington last. Spider Ace Prospecting, great guy, prospects with them a lot. Auburn, yeah, I was right. I was right. Ottis Ferris is from Auburn, also. Beautiful area. I'm from way, way, way up northwest, though. Skagit Valley, Cedar Woolley, Washington. But my kids, my daughter lives in Casey, and my son lives in Scott Lake area, Tumwater area. Oh, live just north of Eugene. Oh, okay. West Central. Nice, nice. I went to a Grateful Dead concert at Eugene. Ziggy Marley, Grateful Dead. That was actually the year I hitchhiked up from Southern California to Anacortes, Washington. You know, Eugene is my middle name, Careless. Oop, TMI, TMI, TMI. I used to take rides into Cedro Woolley for the fair. Oh, Lager Rodeo? Yeah, best of both worlds right there. You get some lager action and some cowboy hee-haw action. Mm, why I am not Speed surprised. Went to a Dead concert. I'm not really a hippie either. All things. Um, my music was pretty hard in my adolescence. Angry Samoans, Suicidal Tendencies, Megadeth, Black Flag, Fear, um, bunch of heavy metal bands and punk rock bands. But I liked all music as long as it's good. I dislike a lot of music too. Uh, and I've always pretty much have. Speaking of that, my stepson's brother-in-law is an up-and-coming artist out of Nashville, Tennessee, Dustin Spears, and he'll be dropping a video on his YouTube channel on the 6th. Yeah, I'm sure if you just search Dustin Spears, he'd come up. My stepson produces his videos and plays a lot with him. I think they might even be actually part of the same band now, but I know he produces his videos. Excuse me. And a couple of his CDs my stepson produced too, I think. I could be wrong about that, but a lot you guys remember the video I did when I was down at my stepson's place, helping him build the music studio. So, so currently on an Anthrax kick. I think it was Anthrax. I I saw Metallica at a really small rock club in Anaheim. Their first show with Jason Newsted of Flotsam and Jetsam out of Arizona. Um, it was at, I think I've damaged a lot of brain cells throughout my young adolescence years. I think it was at the Rendezvous. Um, no, wasn't at the Rendezvous. Oh, I was at a pretty dingy rock club, but Anthrax was playing. Um, Metallica played a small set. One other band too. Shoot, don't remember. Been a long time ago. Britney. Shoot. Yeah, right. Britney who? Oh, it was Jezebel's Rock Club in Anaheim. Yeah. Anthrax, Metallica, great show. I forget who else played with them. My buddy Regan might remember. But if Doc was still alive and with me, he was with me and he was a drummer too, and he actually knew Jason. But that was a pretty good show. And to be honest with you, I'm surprised I remember any of it. um, Come to Maine in September. A bunch of us are going. You know, my birthday's in September too, Heath, so you never know. Pantera be a good show. I like Pantera. Oh, poor Colin. Poor Colin. Gary Two Toes is one of the miners I respect the most. Learned so much from him. Would love to meet him someday. Tell you what, Aaron, I know Gary personally. Been on the river with him on his claims and been lucky enough to prospect and find gold with the man. So maybe we should talk about making a trip to the mother lode sometime. And we'll go find some gold with Two Toes and Smith's Gold. Because they prospect a lot together and they have claims together. So let me get the Zoom invite link out because I've been kind of yip yapping and just saying it's an open line Tuesday, but blah, 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 blah. Just yipping and yapping away, talking a little about everything and a lot about nothing. It will happen. I don't have the freedom to travel and take time off work these days. I hear ya. I hear ya, Aaron. I still gotta do my job too. I totally understand. But if we could work on vacation time appropriately and airline prices come down, what we do is we take carry on and um, I have a vacuum at Top Cat's house. It's my brother gave it to me for my birthday. But I have a vacuum at Top Hats. I think I have a gold pan, and Dano has pans and snuffers there. We have a shelf on his shelf for stuff. Loretta, hey, keep digging. Good to see you, girl. But we should talk sometime. I get 3 weeks vacation a year now. But 300 max capacity for a Pantera show? That must have rocked. And Heath, yeah, going to Maine for Christmas or September would be cool. I'd love to bring home some Maine gold. I'd probably end up selling it to Jeff. And speaking of sales and stuff, I'll be having a Morgan Dollar Raz coming up tomorrow. It's a beautiful, bright, uncirculated Morgan Dollar, 1884, New Orleans. And you know, I only do Razes for uncirculated coins, MS condition coins, mint state. I would say this one, in my opinion, um, MS64 minimum. Get the right grader, probably maybe even a 65, but I only have 10 slots, $15 each, and you could have a coin that could be worth, depending on the grade, anywhere up to $125, I believe today's market is. Make a ring out of it. You're as bad as Mr. Lodak. Good thing GoPro Unlimited is in here, huh? I do have a German 5 mark ring. It's really nice. I need to find it actually. But a metal detectorist, the man with the hat made it for me. I make coin and spoon rings. Cool. Cool. I watch some of those channels too. You won't sell me your Carson City. He probably won't. I probably wouldn't pay what you'd want for it anyway. Uh, but let me see. I put that link out there. I thought I'm gonna switch out the pin and replace that pin with the link. I think I'm gonna end this poll. And well, you all know how much I love you all. Love you all. I love doing this show. I really love doing it with the coast, with my bros. And when we had the treasure vixen Rose, or Rose knows treasure. But you know, life happens and things happen. But so I think I could do another 3 years of the show. I think I could, but I'm gonna take July, August, and September off every year. I need that little breakaway. I need that breakaway. Come back fresh. Um, Okay, I see something here from All Things Country, Laugh Out Loud, Careless Whispers. I assume he was talking about the band. We Are They Decent Boobs, though? Huh? What? I saw lots of I saw lots of boobies at a Bon Jovi concert in Cleveland. Yeah, I bet you did. I bet you did. You know, those heartthrob bands, uh, it's only good reason to see a bubblegum band because all the chicks go to them. Or like a glam band like Cinderella or Twisted Sister. Well, I don't know about Twisted Sister. That might be like the Iggy Pop show I went to. A lot of weird freaks at shows like that. Jeffrey, outdoor influencer, how are you doing, my friend? I've even met that guy by the river. Magnet Fisher. Jeff's been on the show couple of times. Good to see you, Jeffrey. You can run through a campground past tense. I doubt if I was streaking, Bill. Did I run by your tent once? Welcome back, GS. Welcome back. Family first, brother. Family first. Whoops. Family first. Welcome back. Ed, do you know it's impossible to run through a campground? Oh, no, it ain't. If Sasquatch, you can run through a campground. Past tense. No. No, 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 no. Do I have to be naked? Are you trying to bring back the streak? Come on, people. Someone call in. Let me go to my other set where I have. Good thing my granddaughter ain't here. She'd be flipping off the screen again. I do have a co-host tonight, my mimicker, mimicker AI Ed right there. So I do have a co-host tonight. And I don't know. I don't know, Bill. I don't know. You talk about running through campgrounds and I don't know. Just goes to show what a dirty old man I am. Oh, he has hundreds of them. All things, hundreds. Ohio Relic Hunter is like the bad dad joke king. They're not all bad, though. They're not all bad. Yeah, I know, huh, Mark? Good to see you, Mark Thompson. Good to see you. Good night, Heavy. Good to see you. Gotta be up at 4 a.m. Gotta get ready for bed. See you soon. Maybe Fossick. That'd be awesome, buddy. Would love seeing you at Fossick. It was great seeing you at Freedom Fest again. I think the water at Pepsi Cola is making me lose my mind. But what's good thing about working there, I get all the Aquafina I want. Guzzle, guzzle, guzzle. That's right. Someone call in. Call in, careless. Call in. I drink water at body temp, careless, especially when I work. Cold water is very refreshing, but your body doesn't absorb it until it's your body temperature anyway. Uh, Lucky Ducky Thomas, folks, good to see you, my friend, and I hope to see you at Fossick this weekend. Avatar is freaking you out. Like, if you want to catch a funny short, I have it posted where my granddaughter flips him off. Um, if you want to watch that whole live stream, you can also. Again, I do have a Morgan Dollar, uncirculated Morgan Dollar Raz tomorrow. You can always get in on it early. Um, and everything's in the description on tomorrow night's live stream for it. Also, Fossick this coming weekend. Should be a good turnout. Faucet's getting better and better every year, along with Gold Rush days over Labor Day weekend. Come on down, Careless. I'll shut my booth down and teach you our gold pan if you come down. It's open to the public. There's vendors, food vendors, there's common dig, there's a nighttime metal detect hunt. And knowing Patrick and Sue, there'll be a dowsing competition. I was a dowsing champion one year. But where is it? Did you say? And when? This coming weekend, Careless. It's off of Ketna Road, right on the Clear Fork River in Belleville, Ohio. It's actually in between Belleville and Butler. So it's I'm not sure how far it is from your neck of the woods, but it's a good time. Lots of great people. That guy up above you, like above David Villa, he'll be there. He'll be there. 4 hours? It's not even 4 hours for me to get there. I don't know. Or I might be reading that wrong. Because I was too busy ditching school when I was young to go surfing and stuff. And if I knew about gold dredging back then, I would have been ditching to go dredging. Me and school didn't get along till my older years. But I've always loved history and reading history and collecting stuff. Jim, how you doing? Jim Shannon, good to see you. It was good seeing you what little time I did at Freedom Fest. 2.5 from you. It's about the same for me, Careless. It's about the same. Come on up, Bill. I promise I won't choke you like Toledo just did. Promise. I promise. Me, Ranch, probably PA, and I believe Adam. Prospector's Theory, Adam. And a few others you know will be in Maine. Mojo? Oh, John? Will John be there? Great group of guys. Will our brother Joseph be there? Yeah, we all do, Hobo Rob. We all do. Shoot, I've driven up to 15 hours to go prospecting. I'm going to try to talk to Joe. Talk him, that'd be cool. Joe's a great guy. Love to see him again and actually get on the river with them. HD Shovel It! Good seeing you at Freedom Fest, my friend. Give Judy, oh, you're at work. But when you see Judy, give her a hug. Takes you about 2 minutes to get to the river, but not to the swank. Yeah, Ant-Man. He goes by Prospector's Theory now. Heath. Yeah, it'd be great seeing Adam again. Torchy on the run in the house. Good to see you, Torchy. Kane in here too? Kane Detect, how you doing, man? So are many of you watching those shorts I've been putting out pretty much every day? I think they're gonna cut back to maybe once a week though, because it's hard finding the pictures for a lot of the ghost towns and mining towns and boom towns I want to do. It's hard finding the picture. I don't know. I might, Jim. I might. I might. Hopefully, if I do it, be more than for longer than just a day. The shorts have been pretty fun though, Careless. Right, right. I thought for sure you'd be in your GPS um, farming equipment on your tractor or something, but planning's done, so not much to do till harvest, right? But on a farm, there's always something to do. Yeah, you know how it is out west here. I drive 4 hours to Southern Oregon, Medford. Okay, yeah. Well, what was good when I lived up in Cedar Woolley? My address was Cedar Woolley, mind you, but I actually lived 12 miles up the Skagit River off of 20, uh, across the highway from Hamilton. The area was called Pumpkin Center, right by Crown Pacific. The creek in my backyard had salmon and gold. So, and they had a nice route through Lyman Pass to the South Fork Nooksack, which had good gold in it too. Platinum also. Oh, they're here for a week? Okay, right on. I'm jumping all over the conversations and stuff in chat. So, I bet. I bet, Carlos. Got rain coming tonight. Jeff Brewers, great seeing you at Freedom Fest, brother. Had a great weekend at Thermal City. It was their Gold Festival at, no, I think that was at Lucky Strike. But cool, cool. The crossing fingers, wind does a lot of crop damage. It's called logging. Huh. Oddly enough, looks like a giant walked through the field. Are you sure it wasn't aliens? Trying aliens on acid trying to do crop circles. We went to the Gold Fest at Lucky Strike. Cool, cool. Sweet, sweet. Glad you had an awesome time, my friend. I'm glad you had an awesome time. No, did I say, I think I said hi to you, the Canadian hillbilly. I thought the first time 18 years ago it was. I was like, there's crop circles. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. Okay, I thought I did, Kevin. I thought I did. Damn Oreo eyes. It's a good. I put the camera on for him, but he would have his head turned to the side because that camera's over there. And I might eat too much bandwidth, but maybe if I do it over here. Then when I laugh and stuff, he'd really crack up here. Since no one's calling in, you know. So, but come back. Ha 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 ha. Think he blinks even when I blink too. I don't know. I can't see him when I blink, so I don't know. Good night, Jim. Say hi to your better half. Tell her the blonde chick says hi. I don't think we're going to let her down on that for a while. Freaking you out. Okay, I'll stop. I'll stop it. How's that? You get to see a big ugly face right there. It'd probably freak you out more, huh? No, no, no. Get the avatar back. Get the avatar back. Oh my goodness. Or I could do this. Hey everybody, how you doing? Well, Ed, tell me how you doing today? Well, I'm doing pretty good, but why do you turn your back to me? Joseph Knowlton in the house. Dun 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 dun. Joseph is here. It is going to happen. Tell you what, Brad. I know a guy personally, good friend of mine, Robert DePotti. He's a dredging machine, I tell you, dredging machine. I bet you he would let you get on the second side of his nozzle if you come to Ohio. I bet you. I bet you. I bet you. I bet you I could talk him into it. Really? It would be. It would be. I might even be able to talk him into taking us to his permission. He were. You still have a lot of ground left at your permission, don't you, Bobby? Oh, Bobby, give Erie Deary and Heather my love. So, and tell Erie Deary, way to go on the softball. Go girl. Go girl. So what's worse? What's worse, that or my avatar? You know, Rose gave me a coffee cup one Christmas that says, I run off coffee. Cat broke it. That damn cat. I got a few. I have 22 viewing, 23. Here it says Ken. But I appreciate you being here, sir. I appreciate you being here very much. Yes. People, yes. Callers, no. What the heck is it with you guys? No, I'm just messing. I'm just messing. I'm just messing. Boy, I didn't know that Avatar was so big. Oops. It's kind of better. But I think my Avatar is better than that. I think I'm gonna freak out. Um, think I'll keep that on. But gotta get this back where it. Whoops. Gotta get this back where it was. Brad Adams. Who's Brad Adams? Who's Brad Adams? Is that you? Take the hat off, make the head bang. I don't think it will bang. I'm too old for that. Let's see. I hope I don't have to be quick on the draw with this. All right. We have someone in the waiting room. Brad Adams. Let's see who they are. Let's see who they are. Audio's connecting. You're muted. Sending you an ask to unmute. Should come up. Sound check, please. Sound check. Yeah, I hear you fine. Thanks for calling in. Well, you know, there's been a few times throughout the years I thought about throwing in the towel, to be honest with you all. And my friend Tim Grimes over at Gold Prospectors Space, he's been hosting Prospectors Radio for quite a while. And we'd talk, and then someone would say to me, they'd see me on the river and say something that it's like, I watch you, I appreciate you, blah, blah, blah. And can't hear him. Oh, that's why. Okay. Now that you can hear you, Brad. Sorry. Sorry.
There we go. Everyone hear me good?
I had the desktop muted because a lot of times sometimes I'll get echo if I don't have it during. Erie gave you the thumbs up. Right on. I got another caller in the room too. But how are you doing tonight, Brad?
I'm living a dream. I don't know how to change my name on here. I don't call into anybody's panel, Ed, but you said you were going to quit. So I said, the hell with that. I'm calling in.
Do you want me to change your name?
Yeah, sure. Make it something
Actually,
cool.
you should be able to if you hover. You're on a computer, right?
I am, sir.
If you hover to your right hand corner, it will come up with like mute and three dots. You click on that three dot and it should give you a menu where maybe not. Oh, there you go. Right there. You did it, ATC.
Hey, I'm smarter than I look at.
I knew that from watching you do your setup and stuff. Come on. But I never knew your first name was Brian.
That's because
I,
it's not. It's Brad.
or I mean Brad. Sorry, my bad.
It's all good.
Sorry.
It's all good, pal.
But I was to like, okay, I'm not familiar with that name, so I gotta be ready if they end up flashing or anything. I gotta, because it does happen. So,
Yeah, we were watching PA Patriots stream last week, and some guy called in from Denmark, and it got a little bit nasty.
ooh,
Worse than PG-13. I'll just leave it at that. And
ooh. And I think that's happened at JP's bar and Digging Canuck had kind of a escapade happen on one of her lives. Well, I feel honored, all things country.
well, I'm happy you had me, Ed.
But yeah, I hell with it. I gotta change last week, the last show of the month's thumbnail now because it ain't gonna be a farewell show. Maybe it had question marks in there, so um, I think I'm gonna push till 10 years.
Giver.
That's only 3 years to go, and it'd be 10 years. So, um, let me get Kevin in. Wonder which Kevin it is. Is it the Canadian hillbilly? Oh, he'll pop on. Going
That's a
quick
lot of
smoke.
Canadians for one panel, Ed. I don't know.
I don't know, eh? You guys are pretty nice, so I gotta switch you around so you fit the screen properly. There you go. You're muted though, Kevin. Here, I'll send you. Ask
There we
you.
go.
There you go. Hello, hello, hello. Now, is it true that all Canadians are like super, super polite? All the Canadians I've met have been super, super polite, but there has to be some asshole Mounties or something.
It really
Beep.
depends on whether or not you have any follow-up questions, Ed. So yes, would be the answer for now.
Follow-up questions. I might.
Oh, I got dinner served to me, man. This looked great.
Nice headset there, Kevin.
I know how to steal from my daughter.
Moon's over Miami. Good to see you. Oh, Mr. Lodak says no. Randy Lewis is an a-hole. Yeah, you're right. Grumpy's definitely can be. Hey, Graveyard Prospecting, how you doing, Mitch? Well, at least I am not torturing people with my avatar up there anymore.
There you go. I have to admit, I'm kind of slightly intimidated by Kevin Sanich over there. That's a big sandwich.
Oh yeah, that's not a big deal. I can pack that down. Not intimidated at all.
Gotta be careful for some of us skinny guys when we eat, you know. People wonder where I put it. I just tell them I gotta feed my tapeworm. So
the last 2 weeks here, we've gotten more rain than we did all last summer combined. Right now, the rivers are at the highest they've been.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
I'm, yeah, I'm gonna be waiting to go out for a little bit more
Moving
yet.
that gold. And to be honest, I don't remember where you live, Kevin. I know I
Northern
have your
BC.
address. I know I have your address. British Columbia, beautiful country, reminds me way too much of home.
It's a small town called Mackenzie. Last summer, the forest fires here were insane. My whole area where I go mining got devastated by fires, so I'm expecting and it's incredibly steep hills. It's like 50-degree slopes going down towards the river. And the only thing that was holding the dirt up was the trees, and now that they're all burnt, I expect some hillsides to be sloughing off. And with all the rain we've been having, which is probably the reason why the river is so high, is because stuff probably slid down and blocked off sections of the river.
Man, take advantage of that stuff, Have a gold
Mm.
monster or even a Knox or something. Hit that hillside, do a little Darcy Coopering and get up on the banks, at the benches.
All
Mm.
the gold I've ever found out there is super fine, like 100 mesh powder.
Oh,
But
really?
you can go for a weekend and get 3 or 4 grams. Not great, but better than nothing.
Oh, well, it's a lot better than other places, like where I live, you know. A half-gram weekend's a really good weekend. Uh-oh, gold porn. Gold porn. Look at that little bar. I'd be melting stuff too if it was fine. Talcum powder, fine.
Yeah, it's much more fun to play with it in a solid chunk than looking at a bunch of powder in a vial.
Yeah, and your old lady doesn't
Mm.
get tempted about stealing it for eyeliner or something. That's right, Ken. All gold is good gold. Small gold, little flour gold, chunky gold, coarse gold. It's all good gold. That's right. 3 to 4 grams. That will take me 5 years at my rate. Oh,
Well, he's
yeah.
got to mine something to pay for those sandwiches. Holy smokes!
Right. Now, so you're even farther up north than like Quincy or Bakerville,
Yeah.
Barkerville.
Barkerville is about 4 hours, 4.5 hours south of me.
Okay. Hmm. Grumpy. I don't want to open up anything, so I'm
Mm.
afraid I'll lag out if I open up a map. I'm afraid I open. Kevin, if you're wondering, I haven't mailed out your loon yet.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Relax.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get to it eventually. I
Mm.
promise you that. My bed. Careless? Oh my goodness, Joseph. What you talking about? Tuesday, June 18th, all new series. Garrett. Oh, where'd that go? Garrett Detectors release. Huh. Okay. Oh, I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know.
Mm.
Can you still tag him? Aaron was here. Probably feeding his face like Kevin's doing right now. Good thing I pigged out on pizza before the show. Uh, you're making Brad hungry over there, isn't he? How far away is that nice little spot you go to, Brad? That's like on your property, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's actually it's east of me, about an hour or
Oh,
so,
okay.
hour and a half at the most.
Crown land?
No, I own it. Actually, it's so the neighboring property in mine is actually an old late 1800s gold mine.
Oh,
Wow,
sweet.
that's cool. That's really
Yeah.
cool.
So what happened back in the old days, there's a creek that runs right through the two properties. So my neighbor's a farmer, so he owns well over 100 acres. And the creek runs his property is the old gold mine, and he doesn't know it. And hopefully he's not a YouTuber or watching the show. But yeah, so he doesn't. Back in the old days, they ran the trommel alongside the creek, and they didn't have they didn't have front end loaders and dozers and things like that. So what they did was they needed the creek water to run the trommel.
Right.
So they just used the horses and they'd pull the trommel along and they'd leave all the old tailings alongside the creek. So if you actually look at the property, I've shown it in a couple of my videos on Google Maps. There's like about an 8 foot tall tailings pile. And every year when the spring flood comes through, it goes through the old tailings pile and it washes out a whole bunch of stuff that trommel missed. So yeah, that's
Now,
my main property.
you have a detector?
I do, sir. I've got a couple of them.
Okay. Do you have like a PI at all?
No, I don't have anything. My fish. The best one I've got is a Fisher F44. So it's not really a gold detector at all.
Okay.
It'll detect it, but it'll also detect everything else.
Right,
Uh,
right. Well, even
Ganslaw, fishing weights.
even a SD, what is that? A SDAC uh, from Mine Lab, that will pick up everything too. If it's metal, it will pick it up, but um, PIs usually are able to pick up smaller gold, but you might want to think about detecting the tops of those tailing piles because the tops are usually the bottom closest to the bedrock in material, like back in the day with big bucket line dredges and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When they're going down, a lot of times the deepest materials will be the last put on the tailing piles before they move forward and stuff. So, and their classification was only so much. And if you have anything bigger than that classification in the trommel, where does it go? In the tailings, right?
Absolutely, and even further to your point, the tailings are not. It's not open pit where we are. So Ontario, actually, people don't realize is actually the most gold rich area in North
Well,
America.
we have a lot of your gold right here, and I said it 100,000 times. No way in hell are we gonna give it back. We're not deporting your gold. It came here illegally about 10,000 years ago, and we're keeping
And you're
it.
not gonna build a wall either, right?
That gold is a typical Canadian, though, hitchhiking on a piece of ice, right?
Right, right, right. Actually, you probably know about the very first gold mining town in Ontario. Are you El
Which one would that be?
Dorado?
El Dorado?
Yeah, El Dorado. Kim, she was on my show. She used to own El Dorado.
It's actually
Or,
neat. I've been there. I've never panned or mined anywhere near there.
or she owned that one mine in what made El Dorado. I know she
Yeah,
earned a big
it's
chunk out of it. I think she's back at Prince George's Island or something now.
yeah. There's not much left of that mine, but one abandoned adit. That's all that's left of it.
Mr. Lodak, what's Kim's last name? Something Wood. I don't want to go look through all my shows. That was on. She was a guest on like my second year of Tuesday Night Hangout Live, a long time ago. So, NorCal Prospecting, how you doing? And thanks again for picking up Prospectors Lives Matter cup and shirt. I greatly appreciate that. We had an emergency tree to take down today. Still have another hour of this BS. Beep. Woodside. Thanks, Mr. Lodak. Kim Woodside. Great gal, too. Hope to catch you all on Zoom after. Looking forward to watching the show later and getting caught up. Be careful, brother. Be careful. Barkerville. I'd like to go up there one day. Maybe meet up with some prospectors and find some gold in that district. There's so many places I'd like to go, guys. I'd love to go up to Ontario more, Brad, and venture out some more there. Usually when I went up there, it'd be straight up to Blue Mountain to go skiing or snowboarding.
That's way too close to Toronto for me, Ed. I don't go there.
What do you mean? It's way north of Toronto.
Still too close.
Isn't it?
That's like the armpit of Canada.
It's clear on that other bay way up north, or that other lake.
Yeah, it's just off Georgian Bay, yeah.
Yeah. But shoot, we drove by Toronto at night.
But I'm actually right on the border with so where I actually live, not where I prospect, is right on the border with New York. And I'm only a couple of hours from Vermont, so I go down there. I go to Coos Canyon in Maine. I go to
cool.
New Hampshire. I did have, unfortunately, had a family emergency this past month, but I was supposed to go down and meet the Hip Bees and a few other people, and it got postponed, but it'll happen.
One day I'd like to meet up with Wes and Thomas. That'd be pretty cool.
I just want to go for supper.
Yeah, sometimes I gain weight just watching their show when Wes is cooking. Oh my God. But,
yeah.
There's a calcite crystal cluster. It's like a geode. That's what I get up on my claim up.
Let me pin you for a second so our treasure holics could get a good.
Some of the bedrock up there is just really, really interesting.
Nice. I have found some nice
like
dogtooth calcite crystals here. That's a nice little vog in that rock.
Yeah. And I got another place where I go and I get lots of pyrite. No big cubes though. Nothing more than a quarter inch by quarter inch, but you can pull them out whole. And I have a nice little jar of some of the larger cubes we've got.
Hurry back, Joseph. Oh, some pyrite cubes, huh?
Yeah.
Those look like some nice chunky stuff too, Kevin.
Mm-hmm. Another little guy here. See the light going through it.
Ooh, is that nephrite or jade?
Yeah, that's what it is. That's jade.
Yeah, I used to have a beep load of that stuff on my claim in Washington.
I'm gonna start cutting it up actually into about quarter-inch slabs and inserting it into night lights. That and some agates. I want to start selling those little guys.
That'd be cool. Have you thought about doing any of like your lapidary work during live streams and stuff?
It takes so damn long to polish a rock. It'd be almost painful for the people viewing. I got so little subscribers now. I don't want to chase them away.
Right. Wait till you have more to torture them like that.
Yeah, that's just it. Yeah.
Pizza's in the oven, huh, Joseph? Don't let it burn, bro. Don't let it burn. I had pizza tonight. And
Joseph, if you're putting pizzas in a toaster, I hope you're putting your toaster sideways.
you might have one of those big toaster ovens. You know. um,
Like
there's. Go ahead.
and in the area where I mine about an hour and a half north of where my claim is, it's about maybe a 3 hour drive from where I'm sitting. It was Germanson Landing in the 1870s. They had a massive gold rush up there, and at the time there was about 15,000 people that were living there and mining there. And during that time, they ended up hauling a steam shovel in from Port St. James over a mountain pass in the winter, and one piece at a time, disassembled it and reassembled it out there to work it in 1870. And it's still out there in their museum, and the wood frame structure is still intact. It's a quite a really interesting place. They did a lot of hydraulic mining up there in that time between 1870 and 1930. And in the winter of 1932, the hydraulic tailings came down and went right through the town site itself at night, and they had to evacuate everybody. And within 24 hours, the town site itself was gone.
Wow. And where was that again?
Germanson Landing.
Jurgensen Landing?
Germanson, like the country German.
Oh,
Germanson. Yeah. It's up by Manson Creek. There are two mining areas that are really, really close, but they were incredibly rich, productive areas. Getting I think the biggest nugget that was ever taken out of there was about 52 ounces or some damn thing. It was, and it's so far off the beaten track. It's really neat. All the old hydraulic monitors are still up there at the museum. The steam shovel's still up there, and it's one of the ones that was used for building the Panama Canal.
So how far are you from like Alta? Or is that the name of it?
From where?
No, Alta.
That's in Utah.
Utah, and there's another one too, Colorado, I believe. I'm thinking of a place. Me Minor has a claim up there. It's way, 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 way up on the lake. They do a bunch of helicopter skiing and stuff there too. Oh boy, I tell you, Sometimers and Blonde Moon.
Breckenridge.
No,
probably Breckenridge.
It's Canada. It's Upper BC, right by the Yukon. Right by
Atlin.
Atlin. Yes, that's it.
Yeah, so that's about a good day's drive.
Where is that one place Germanton Landing you were talking about from like there?
Well,
is it on the same lake system?
No. Like the province of British Columbia, you could fit Texas inside of it. Like it's a massive
huge province. Yes.
Yeah, to drive from one end, from the north end, all the way down to Vancouver. From Atlin to Vancouver would be like a 2-day drive nonstop. It's just shy of probably 2,000 miles.
Yeah, but shouldn't that be say about pretty much all your provinces? Because Alberta's a huge province. The Yukon Territory is huge. Manitoba's huge. A lot of water in Manitoba. Saskatchewan. What other?
Yep. Yep.
Then Ontario's pretty big too, but you do have Hudson Bay that eats up a bunch of Ontario, right, Brad?
Yeah, I think we're actually the biggest province, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and everybody lives down by Toronto, like 90% of your Providence.
Well,
Um,
80% of Canada lives within I forget what it is, like 200 or 250 kilometers of the border.
Yep.
well,
Yep.
that's
That's true.
understandable.
Not
Even
really.
I,
Not if you've ever been to Toronto.
I guess probably your smallest province would be more like Labrador, or
Prince Edward Island is our smallest.
so that's a province all in itself.
It is.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe that was part of like New Brunswick or Nova Scotia or something like that.
No, so Labrador is actually part of Newfoundland,
Okay.
and PEI is just off doing its own thing.
Hmm.
And you got Nova Scotia over there as well too.
Yeah.
There's the three provinces that are right on the
Now
east
Oak
coast.
Island's in Nova Scotia, right?
Correct.
Okay. But geez, it's hard watching all you my friends from out Pacific Northwest area, northern BC, Washington, Oregon. I get so flippin' I want to cuss really bad right now because I get that homesick every time I watch that
It's
stuff.
amazing too in the gold community how many people are from that area.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But it's amazing how vast our community is in whole, you know. Like when I came to Ohio, I knew about glacial gold in Ohio, but I didn't know the gold community here was as big as it is. And then you have those hosers from Indiana just messing with you, Pennyweight. And then you have our friends to the east and New York and Pennsylvania and New England has some beautiful gold. I've done very well in Vermont. Mm, over there by Plymouth, I think it's Plymouth. I
Yep.
Broad Brook. I did very well in just like 4 hours.
Yeah, I found a
1.4,
lot of gold in
1.
Broadbrook myself.
1.4 grams in Broad Brook
Okay,
in,
maybe not
Decent.
that much.
in 4 hours.
Decent. That's impressive. That's
I,
good.
I was working my fanny off, and I was actually, you didn't hear it here on Tuesday night, Hangout Live, and if Vermont comes after me, I'm gonna deny it, even though it's recorded. I was breaking the law, breaking the law.
Running a
What?
sluice, Ed,
Who, me? No.
or maybe running one of the what do they do? What's that? The Green Mountain Gold Trap. They
Great,
call it a
great, great,
classifier.
great. It's patented as an in-stream fluid bed classifier.
Yeah,
That's
tell
the
it to.
patent. So you can kind of technically do it. No, I wasn't. I was using my my sluice with Dreamat in it from Run for the Hills Mining out of Massachusetts. So my good friend Ron Adams, he's one of my good masshole friends. I can say that. My daughter was born there, my ex-wife's from there, so and my youngest lives there now. Some of my best friends are massholes. Magna Man in the house, hello. See, there's Aaron, he's still here.
Actually, my biggest ever prospected nugget actually comes from New England. It's not huge or anything. It's only I think it's like 0.6 or 0.7 grams, but it came from Coos Canyon.
Nice,
I've
nice.
I've only found one nugget on my claim, and it weighed less than half a gram. That was the only one.
There's more there. It has a big brother somewhere, brother. It has a
Oh,
big
it
brother
does. It
somewhere.
does. I've been looking.
Now, you know of Brian Wilder, right? American Gold Prospectors. Okay.
Yeah, I've been watching his channel since before he was on Bering Sea Gold.
Oh yeah, great guy, great guy. But his biggest gold is all from Maine and New Hampshire. I mean, from Bering Sea Gold to Arizona to everywhere he's been prospecting, his biggest gold is from New England. So, but you didn't hear that from me because
Oh
we
no,
all
Brian's posted
know.
pictures. Brian's posted pictures, man. He doesn't beat around the bush about that, you know. And he should also post the amount of hours it takes to accumulate said piles. And I bet you, like you're saying, at for how many hours he's running, the Maine's probably throwing the most gold at him.
He's a hard worker, though. That guy is a dredging beast. Um, Real hard worker.
Very, very nice guy. I had the privilege of meeting him 2 years ago at the prospecting rendezvous, the
Yeah,
spring rendezvous in New Hampshire.
they're at
Really, really
Bath.
nice guy.
Isn't that Bath, New Hampshire, where it's
Yeah,
at?
right near and Twin Rivers campground
On
hosts
the
it.
Wham. I wouldn't mind getting there too. Hey, Terry, thank you so much for the super chat. 30.99 Aussie dollars. Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. Yahoo! Gold prospecting with Terry.
Like last summer, a friend of mine, Shane Wright, who's his YouTube channel is the Rediscoverers. He hosts a yearly gold panning competition in Quesnel, and the turnout there was great. Dan Hurd was there. Freddie Dodge even stopped in.
Oh,
It was a
nice.
great time. It was really nice. We had all the kids there. It was scorching hot, you know, like 29 degrees Celsius, which would be like, you know, 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Hot for a Canadian. Thank goodness the Fraser River was right there, so I was able to do a little bit of swimming. And it's also right on a public panning reserve, so you can hang out, do your thing, and then go dip a pan right in the river there too. So it was great.
Nice, nice. I I believe I watched some of Dan Hurd's stuff on that. Mr. Lodak, didn't Grumpy go to that? I forget where Randy lives. He lives pretty far up in BC too. Between two lakes, I forget where. I'm sure there's a lot of lakes up there though.
That sounded very American, Ed.
Well,
It's like when you go down in the States and like, oh, you're Canadian. Do you know Joe?
right, right.
Yeah. Well, you live between those two lakes. But
Yeah, Mr. Lodak says he think he went. Yeah.
so there, that's the one that I found in New England right there. I don't know if you
Okay,
guys can make that out.
let me pin you up because
Gold barn.
you know we have a lot of gold pervs here, and we like showing that
There
gold
we go.
corn. Up a little, up, 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 right there. Push in, push in. Ooh, look at that. Looks like a mitten waving or a
It's
heart.
actually it's 0.688, and I know that because it's written on the back. Because I'm that kind of guy. But yeah, that's the biggest I've ever found. And it was a bit of a letdown. And the only reason it was a bit of a letdown is when I uncovered it. That's the way that I uncovered it. It looked just like that, right? So picture brushing all the rock
Bring
back.
it up just a smidge.
Oh, and that
There
is
you go. Perfect.
and that's what's staring back at you. And then I picked it up and it was, of course, super flat like a cornflake, but
And you're like,
uh,
oh man, it's over
still
a half
0.68
gram
in.
though. Hey,
I'll take that any day.
you bet, yeah. That's
And I'll
right.
probably never find another one again, right? So
Joseph Knowlton's like waving his hand saying, perv right here. We all are. And I think you two would agree. I think all prospectors are also rock hounds and have an interest in gemology and geology, of course. It goes hand in hand. I love rocks. I have them all over. Not counting the ones in my head, careless. So, looks like a squashed Washington State. Right? Right?
well, we've always got rock porn here too, Ed. I don't know if you can make that out.
Rock porn's
Anyone know what
good.
that is?
It's still treasure porn.
Looks like
From
lava
what
rock.
I see, it looks like schist with garnet.
How about now?
Oh, it's sodalite.
Yeah, it's a Uper.
Same thing.
Ah,
Uperlite, sodalite.
Yeah, same stuff. Actually, it's sodalite because I didn't find it in Michigan. So Uperlites actually originate in Ontario.
Oh, wait, got no one can see it yet. Let me replace pin. Okay, there you go. That looks like some malachite or maybe some azurite.
nailed it. Not bad. I got another one up here you may have fun identifying.
Azurite's such a beautiful mineral, though. Yeah, shoot, green garnets.
Peridot.
Oh, peridot. Okay. Well, hey. How do you like them gemstones, careless? How do you like those rocks?
Some little tiny opals here.
Oh, nice. Are those BC opals?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice, nice.
And this is a weird rock I bought, and it absorbs UV light, and in the darkness, it slowly changes color,
Oh,
and it
cool.
goes back to almost looking like quartz. So once it's exposed to light, it goes purplish a bit. It's got a horrible reflection, sorry guys. And yeah, it's neat. I forget the name of it. I got the slip up here somewhere. I got all sorts of cool little interesting rocks. Chunks of fossils. That's a bone fragment from I don't know what.
Nice.
That's definitely a chunk of bone.
I think every prospector in the world has rocks somewhere all over, you know. When
You know
I'm
what the problem is? The problem is we can't throw them out.
Right.
I can't throw.
Even when we have a leverite and we like it, we're like, ooh, nice.
Exactly. Ooh.
My problem is that to get to my claim, you got to go down a hill that's a 50-degree slope, and you got to use a rope that's 330 feet long. So whatever rock you're packing out of there, you're really earning it.
Right, right. Careless human bone? Question mark. Only rocks
It's about the right
I
size.
have are the ones waiting to crush. Well, Aaron, there's so many beautiful rocks all over. If you get some good gold streamers, you might not want to crush it. I think you can use vinegar to. Is it vinegar, Kevin?
Vinegar or muriatic acid.
Yeah, muriatic
to
acid will dissolve
the
the
host
quartz.
rock in the quartz, and it'd be much more valuable a
As a
specimen piece
crystalline
is
specimen, yeah.
crystalline than it would ever be crushed up, flattened, and whatever.
Some of the specimens that came out of Colorado are just beautiful, and same with Arizona too. A lot of really nice looking specimen gold there.
Well, I'm sure BC probably has some good areas for crystalline gold because, like, Washington, not Republic, Liberty, Washington is renowned. The Blewett Pass area and Blewett Mining District and the Schwach Mining District is renowned for its crystalline gold. I've read stories where prospectors thought the gold in a pocket was so beautiful they buried it back up because they didn't want to see it go through the Astoria or the stamp mill. Now, personally, I find that very hard to believe.
Yeah, I would bury it deep in my pocket.
Right, right. I mean, yeah, pool acid probably does a good job too, but wouldn't that be muriatic acid anyway? Pool acid. Chlorine?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, one of my favorite pieces that I have was a piece. I actually found it this year, and it's like I mentioned, it was an old trommel, and I'm prospecting downstream from an old hard rock mine.
right.
And one of the things that tends to pass through the trommel that has gold in it is specimens, so gold with quartz, because it's obviously a lot lighter than pure gold, right?
Right.
And one of my favorite pieces, it's only 0.3 grams, but if you look at it under a magnifying glass, it's riddled with quartz. And someone mentioned, oh, get the muriatic acid and then you can dissolve it. And to me, just personally, I mean, everybody's different. It has more natural value to me, the way it came out of the ground or the way that it came out of nature. I think it looks beautiful just the way it is, right? But I have seen some of those specimen pieces where they dissolve the rock and the gold is taking all kinds of really weird shapes according to the way it was in the veins when it was in the rock. And, those are cool as well. But,
Um,
it's all personal preference.
Dave from Gold Bay does that quite a bit from his Mexican mine and his California mine. Also, he'll take the specimen stuff and dissolve the quartz around it. He has
He
some
actually does
nice
a really
stuff.
nice job of it too. I've seen some where he's left the natural quartz almost like a pedestal for the piece. And he's dissolved, maybe 75% of it. And so
Right.
it's like a big piece of gold coming out of the quartz. It's kind of neat.
I got to see some at the gold show here in Hawaii, Ohio a couple years ago. I actually got to hold the Van Halen nugget in my hand. It's nice nugget. Oh my God. Beautiful. Crystalline gold. Beautiful. Oh man. I'm drooling here. Thinking
The
about
Van
some of
Halen
this
nugget.
gold.
I don't think I've I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Um, you're on Facebook, right?
Hell no.
No. Oh, hell no.
No, no. Is the Van Halen nugget more Sammy Hagar or is it a lot of David Lee Roth?
More David Lee Roth for sure. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
1984.
definitely.
Then I'd
Yeah,
like it.
yeah. I'm not too much into Sam Hagar. I Vanguard. But yeah, it, I don't know. Van Halen puts on an epic show, I have to say. Too bad when I saw him, David Lee Roth was being a total a-hole and drunk off his bottom. I saw him at the US Festival in '81 in California. And he got terribly drunk. Terribly drunk. You're more than welcome, Careless. Thank you for being here, girl. David Villa's like, me neither. No Facebook. Some people say it's awful. I think if you're online, they know who you are. You're on anyone's list already. And I
I
don't
think
do,
Facebook has a place. I find people get too obsessed with that stuff, but
well, I too many people air their dirty laundry on Facebook.
you
And
got her, pal.
I don't think that's the place for it. Um, I just pretty much promote my channel and things I like, and I
Hmm.
keep an eye on my grandkids and my children through it. You know, I kind of live vicariously watching my grandkids in Washington grow up through pictures my daughter-in-law post. Make sense? I used to be able to get out there and visit more often than I can now. People share too much fake news on Facebook. That too. That too.
Well, in Canada, you can't share news on Facebook anymore thanks to our government.
It's not as much with me that they share too much fake news. It's just too much news in general. I don't need to know what everybody's doing every 5 minutes of the day, and I don't want them to know what I'm doing every five
No.
minutes of the day.
And if people get too political, I'll block their posts. I won't block them. I'll just hide their posts. Stop following them or whatever. Just so I won't see it. And it could be any side of the damn duck. I don't care. I don't want to hear either side because in my opinion, they're both wrecking our country. I know who's wrecking yours. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I'm not right. I'm not left. I'm just going forward.
Yeah, I'm about the same way.
Well, I
Uh,
think a lot of people, Ed, I think a lot of
I'm
people have their own beliefs, right? And
yeah,
I don't come onto YouTube or fire up my computer or to get angry. I don't do it
right,
I could do that on my own time. I've got kids. They make me angry all the time. I don't need help.
right.
So I don't go on to YouTube to hear a bunch of politics. I want to see how people are doing getting on the gold. I want to see people enjoying themselves, and that's where people should be able to go to. People don't go any place. When we were younger, we used to watch TV and it wasn't so much of this stuff. And nowadays it's everywhere. It's everywhere you go. So I mean, I prefer to stay away from stuff further to your point that's not that's politically motivated, You got to have some time away from that stuff. It'll drive you nuts if you don't.
Oh yeah, and so much lately. There's so much fear mongering and either way, and it was nice when you could still be friends with different viewpoints and stuff and have a civil talk like we're having now. And people don't get all butthurt, but oh my God, nowadays,
Well,
I
nowadays,
don't,
we're in the same, well, I don't want to say the same boat, but I mean, you mentioned our leadership here, right? I mean, I'm not happy
we're
with it.
pretty much in the same boat. You have a globalist, we have a globalist.
True. I mean, but I don't want to turn your show into a political discussion. But
Yeah,
I mean,
it's I
my whole point is, the difference nowadays from what it used to be is that as much as I don't like our leadership, I recognize the fact that the majority of people voted for it to get it in, and that's kind of what democracy is, right? So I don't like it, but I'm not going to say not my prime minister or not my it is what it is, and you lobby for a change, if that's what you want. I look at some of the things that are going on. I tend to look at the things that I'm passionate about. I'm very disappointed in Michigan right now. I had to cancel my trip, for example. I'm not American, but I had to cancel my trip. I was going to go back down and meet Jason from Flower Gold Wizards again
Great guy,
and
great guy.
prospect the beach, and they made that stupid mining law and they've taken our sluices away. Right? So
They banned at the state park there, Mukilteo State Park. They banned it, but I believe Jason was part of it, and my friend Mike Pung and others. They kind of went in there and negotiated for us, so you can go in and pan. You just can't run a gold cube or can't run a micro banker or anything like that.
I'm sure you've beach
And
mined before, right, Ed?
Yeah, yeah. I was
Who the hell wants to
actually,
pan on a beach?
not me. I've done that with Flower Gold Wizard on the beach up there last year.
try
And
being in BC. The rules in British Columbia are insane. Oh, and they're evil. Like
well,
it,
you can't
you want to
even
run a
have a
high
river
banker?
sluice in this river there. So,
Yep, that's true. You can't dredge either. Well, you can, but you have to get a permit, and you have to also pay a massive deposit of a minimum of $15,000 per season to run it.
wow. And you also have to be part of a corporation on a claim to operate a
Well,
dredge there too, right?
in order to own a claim in BC, you have to have a business license. It's just one step after another, after another, after another. Then there's so many different rules. Like you're only allowed to use a pump of a certain size. Your high banker has to be so far away from the water. And it's to the point where the pump size is so small and your high banker is so small, far away from the water that you don't have adequate water flow to run your high banker. It's really evil the way it's set up.
It is. So, but I mean, further to your point, Kevin, at least in Michigan, it used to be, last year, I actually just missed you, Ed, by uh, maybe 2 days when you went down to, or you missed me by 2 days. I think you arrived after me
I
in
arrived
Michigan.
after the GPAA outings and stuff, and I met up with Jason and Mike Pung there.
Yeah, I was there the day before and I met Jason and Mike at the campground. I was actually staying at the same campground and then I left that day. But anyway, further to your point, at least Kevin, last year in Michigan, you could have a recirc system, which when you're on a beach works perfect. I understand it's completely different mining, obviously, than BC. I know, and I know you guys, your laws are really, really stringent, but at least at the beach you had a recirc system. It wasn't hurting anything. It wasn't eroding anything. It wasn't, the laws were strict enough as it was. And now, they've taken that completely away. And all you can do is pan. And if you've ever seen beach gold or try, it's pure, but it's all buried in pure black sand. And doing it without a sluice is, I don't want to say it's next to impossible. I mean, Jason did it on his video last week, right? But is it worth it?
I don't
Is there enough
know
in your pan
for
to make it worth your while? To me, there's not, but
if I had 100 salt and pepper specs, maybe, but that gold up there's so doggone fine. I did find a couple of nice salt size specs, but I worked for it.
well, the thing that I
Yeah,
loved about
yeah.
doing it so much
Even
was, yeah, the thing I loved about doing it so much was you could run your sluice for, 6 hours at the beach. And it's not that you got so much by weight, but the pans were so fantastic because the gold is so fine. And when you wash those black sands back and you take your time, it's just beautiful to look at, right? It's really, really enjoyable, but trying to do that one pan at a time is kind of not my thing.
I could understand, and like Oregon and Washington's getting about the same way, you know. Um, California, oh my God. If it wasn't for like the California gold rush, and just think how much longer it would have been for all the rushes and stampedes like the Yukon Territory or BC or Fraser River, um, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, you name it, you know. Shoot. It took them 20 years to have a good gold rush after what they had in the Carolinas 20 years before the California gold rush. So,
And it's funny how almost every gold rush was like 20 years apart, right? Carolina was 18, what, 20s, 1810s.
yeah, but the
California was
Reed
18.
mine was actually
Arizona.
founded in the late 1700s, if I'm correct. 1788, I thought it was. Um, the Reed mine, I believe that's North Carolina. Could be South Carolina. Come on, Aaron, help me out. But yeah, I think you're about right. And then the California Gold Rush, and then they meandered and moved out, Northern California, Oregon, Washington, BC, Yukon,
Then Alaska last. Yeah.
Nome, yeah, Alaska, Fairbanks.
And one interesting fact about the gold on the western side of North America, you look at it and it's basically a straight line traveling almost north all the way up to Nome, and it's all skirting just for the Rocky Mountain range. It's really neat. The geology there is really interesting. It's like there was a super rich zone that went all along the west coast, and when the first continental plate from the ocean pushed up against it, it deposited it all, and then you had several other plates that came in after it that made up the west coast area of North America. And what made all that gold? How did that get there? That's going back to Pangea.
Well, I believe a lot of it goes back to Pangea, and I believe the rivers that went through California, the major ancient river, tertiary ancient rivers, they
Paleo channels.
all the way up, I believe, into the Yukon, they flowed north and south. And then with the uplift of the Sierras and stuff like that, and the Cascades, which goes all the way into BC, from Northern California, from like Shasta all the way up to BC. They're a relatively young mountain age mountain range compared to like uh, the Adirondack in New York or the Appalachians, because at one time the Appalachian Mountains were the size of what the Sierras are. At one time they were like 10,000 feet.
At
But
one time, the Appalachian Mountains were actually taller than Mount Everest. They were over
yeah, they were
40,000 feet in elevation.
huge, huge. So I think the rivers at one time ran north and south. During Pangea, the breakup of Pangea, there were mass floods, earthquakes, and all kinds of stuff going on. And that's what cut the new channels and glaciers and stuff like that is what makes it how we see it now.
You think about how they even just North America, it moves about 3 centimeters a year. That's just in 1 year. Now we're talking about a planet that's 4.5 billion years old. That's a lot of movement.
Mm, yeah, that's what they say. There's no proof. I lean more towards a young earther. I'm not saying we're only 6,000 years old, but I'm I don't think we're billions of years old. but who am I?
You mean to tell me there's not some guy out there, Ed, measuring that 3 centimeters every year?
No, there very well could be. Who knows?
It sounds like something our government would fund.
Right, right.
I need that job.
Both of our governments fund some crazy stuff. Actually, what you can do, here's a way to dredge. I know they're doing it in California. You get a permit to remove heavy metals from the streamway, and you
Yeah, I
get to
heard that.
use keep the gold byproduct, and you turn over the mercury to them and stuff, and you can keep the gold. Actually, there's people doing it now in California instead of having the like environmental preservationist groups do it like Sierra Club. But there's going on another touchy subject. Truth
Just a
At least
pro.
the
we're,
Matrix.
we're talking about the right things politically though here, right? Environmentalist groups are shutting down mine.
But that's just a product of making stupid rules. When you make stupid rules, people are going to do stupid things to get around those rules, right?
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, the thing where that we all, I'm a hunter myself and a fisherman, so I'm used to in every single hobby that I have, somebody is trying to overregulate it, and
Well,
we have to be honest with ourselves and each other that the miners in the old days did a lot of things that they shouldn't. But we have to, and that's why we have to be representative and do the right things.
Do you know who abolished hydraulic mining in the mother lode? It wasn't the government. It was the committee of the districts. It was the miners themselves.
So I'm an avid hunter too because I like eating clean organic meat. And this is a tine off a bull moose off one of his paddles. And he was a monster. 2 bull moose got into a scrap after I called, and I went back to camp for the evening. The next morning, I went up there, and it looked like a D9 cat tore up the road. You can see where from the tracks, you can tell where one animal got pinned into the ditch on the side of the road, and as it was down there, it was fighting for its life, and it lost a couple of these times. And we ended up finding the moose that succumbed to his injuries later on, and it was in a swamp. It was pretty gruesome. Then less than a day later, this moose that was probably about 1,600 pounds got hauled out of there by a grizzly bear that weighed about 1,400 pounds. It was huge. Well over 4 feet across at the shoulders. I've seen some massive grizzly bears in my day. I've been charged by a sow grizzly bear that was protecting her 2 cubs, and she stopped right in front of me, was less than a foot and a half away from me, and she was huffing and puffing at me and chattering her teeth. And I remember she was standing on all fours, and she was still so tall, she was looking down at me. I'm not an incredibly tall person. I'm only like 5'10".
Right.
But this bear was, well over 6 feet tall, and that was standing on all fours.
I wouldn't want to come face to face with the grizzly.
No, they don't have nice breath. It's they're kind of gross.
I bet.
Eating rotting salmon all day will do that to you.
Where I live, there is no salmon, and she would have to hike about 300 kilometers to get to where the fish was.
Yeah, I was choking the rivers, Caleb, and the farmers and stuff. But it was actually the miners in the districts that pretty much put an end to it in the mother lode. Our friend Full of Gold from Australia. It's amazing, kind of like how Australia's history kind of parallels North America in general history. kind of weird. But, you know, in Americas, you guys included, we're free by permit only. Unfortunately. Uh,
Can you imagine what the history it would have been like if it wasn't for the gold rush, right? Then think about how gold opened up Australia. Think about how gold opened up North America, and going all the way back to the Spanish in South America and North America. Gold was a pivotal thing for exploration.
well, that's. So why do you think the Spanish explored all over? It was to exploit countries of their gold. You
Yeah,
know?
I like that you use the word exploit. I was going to mention that as well, as kind of not everything about gold and the exploration that it caused was good, right?
Oh
Well, a lot
no.
of evil has been done in the name of gold, unfortunately. I mean, by I don't care what race you are, Spanish, Native American, yes, they mine gold and silver, whites, blacks, you name it. Every ethnic group, we're all one race. We're all one human race, but yes, different ethnic groups. Um, but a lot has been good. We couldn't have what we're sitting in front of right now if it wasn't for gold mining. And there's so much gold in our monitors, in our keyboards, in our towers, in our phones, platinum, so much in our cars. And it's funny. I'm you'll get people like up in Washington, these damn hippies that move up from California. I don't know. Then they're like, oh, you need to stop mining and stop logging. Oh, this forest will never grow back. I was on a mountain with my kid once by Mount Baker in Washington, overlooking over Baker Lake. And we're actually on a logging landing from about 100 years ago, right? And this guy pulls up with Seattle trim around his license plate, pulls up, takes his son out and says, son, we need to preserve all this old growth forest. We need to stop logging and mining. And I'm like,
Isn't it ironic that that all these places, like California, especially southern British Columbia, all these places that are against logging and against deforestation are where all the forest fires happen for the most part.
oh yeah, and it's because they made stupid laws like not being able to go out and glean dead wood from the floor of the forest, you know? And you don't glean the forest of fallen timber and stuff or fall downs and stuff, you're gonna have mass forest fires.
And
And
nature does it for you.
forest
Yep.
fires are a part of nature anyway, and like there's some pine cones that won't even open up to drop its seed unless it's over like 350 degrees Fahrenheit, you know. So um yeah, you're right, Jeff. If it ain't mined, it's grown. It has to be grown. But back to this guy in a BMW on a landing trying to tell his kid, of course they're from Seattle. It's like someone from LA or Vancouver or Quebec or Quebec's a city in Quebec, right? Ain't there a
Yep. Yeah.
Quebec
Quebec
City?
City. Yeah. Yeah. You're good
Okay,
there.
okay. Or NYC, whatever, huge city, you know. Well, why do you have to kill that cow? Can't you go to the store and buy it? But this guy is like, saying we gotta, wasn't a conservationist one bit, you know. He was a full-on preservationist. We gotta stop. And I go, I spoke really loud. I go, son, see how well the people, the conservationists before us took care of our land. They logged this over 100 years ago, and now we have a renewable resource we can use wisely again in the future. See that stump there with the notches in it? That log was probably logged. That tree was logged probably 100 years ago, and look at this beautiful forest now. Then I talked
Like,
about how essential mining is and lumber, harvesting lumber is, or we'd be still living in caves and be walking. It's just,
It's ironic too, because with the invention of money, we got away from mining and we got away from using those resources that are actually valuable. And that's what
well, it
gives
isn't
people this
just,
type of attitude, right? Is because they don't realize the value in mining that gold.
well,
Their
they
money
take it
buys the
for
iPod. They
granted.
don't realize that the iPhone that they're buying has gold and platinum and lithium and all these things in it. They just see money, right? Money's not evil.
And money, and they don't want it in their backyard type thing.
when
But
I was 12, and we used to plant trees in scouts. And 3 years ago, the trees I planted, all those years ago, got harvested. And my daughter's like, aren't you upset they cut down the forest you planted? I'm like, no, because that's why we planted that forest. It's a
that's
crop.
why every logging company replants 3 to 4 for every one they harvest. I I replanted one season for Skagit forestry. I'd go out to clear cuts and walk around in the beautiful outdoors with a bag of trees. Man, guys, making me homesick. I want to go back to Washington. Well, guys, we're way into overtime. I appreciate the late call-ins. Next time, do it sooner, please.
I don't want to make sure you weren't quitting, Ed. That's all.
Well,
Yeah, amen. I'd hate to see my Tuesday night change. Tuesday night and Sunday morning, those are two sacred YouTube days for me. You know what I mean? We got Ed on Tuesday, and we got Dan here, and I do my video every Sunday too. So it's Sunday morning cartoons, but gold style. It's
okay,
great.
there it is. I have to at least push for 10 years of Tuesday night Hangout Live. But
There we go.
cheers. Cheers, mate. But let me see. I am gonna be having a friend of mine on next week. His dad's a great guy. Has a beautiful plane he took me up in for about an hour a couple years ago. We're having Matt Hosseber, Matt Hospodor, the prospecting geologist, join us again. Uh, he's a really good guy, a personal friend of mine. I have the pleasure of being on the river with him a couple of times. He dredges a lot in Virginia and Idaho. Really good guy. We're gonna be having his dredging partner join us also. Should be a really good show. I'm not gonna let you know who's on the 18th, and I gotta change my thumbnail now for the 25th. But the 25th will be the 7th year anniversary show of Tuesday Night Hangout Live, and I'm sorry there won't be any giveaways like last year because I've dropped the ball and I've been so busy with work that um that didn't work on getting anything for giveaways. Because I'm just a poor working jerk. So, uh, try and make a buck and pay the bills. Everybody, Brad, thank you very much. Kevin, thank you very much for calling in. I have to wake up at like 5:30, 5 in the morning, and it's 10:30 now, and I still have about an hour worth of work before I go to bed. Because what I did, I'll tell you. I reformat my show and I upload it to Spotify where you can watch it on YouTube or listen to it on YouTube Music, on Amazon Podcasts, on iHeartRadio, and other podcast sites if you driving around and want to listen to the show and whatnot. You made a gold-filled paver? That'd be cool, Joseph. Canada, the upper half of the U.S. Well, we are all North America, buddy. I need a new partner. I do. I have my old partners. They're just busy right now. Appreciate you guys joining in, and thanks for the encouragement to continue, you two. I greatly appreciate it. And all of you out there, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Be sure you come back next week, same time, same channel, and hope to see you at Fossick if you're in the area. I will be you dredging partner next year, Ed. Okay. I swear you guys who speak that proper Queen's English, I swear. I thought I had bad grammar, Brad. Hopefully I'll have a 4-inch dredge by next year. Then we'll have a couple of 4-inchers in the water. All right, Terry Marshall, thanks again for the super chat. Yahoo! Gold Prospecting with Terry, thank you. Mega Silver Stacker, hey, just saw you. Thanks for hopping in. Mitch, good seeing you. Stony, Chris, Yeti, all of you. David Villa, Heath, again, love you all very much. Until you think, Ed, before you speak. Until next time, may you always have a flash in your pan, and you know what I love to say because it does happen. Ask Keith Doty. Ask Bobby Robert DePotty. In a couple years, you could ask Brad Welsh. It does happen. Maybe one day, too, we'll meet you on the river. Until then, everybody, I know this old man has to get to sleep before too long, so we're out of here. Thank you all very much. You're more than welcome, Kevin. Thenceforth, Magnum Man, Jeff, Joseph, Rob,
5, 4, 3, 2,
Aaron.
1.
Thank you very much.